Because if you're two-handing your weapon, that means you can use it correctly, which means they shouldn't penalize you when you're on the horse.
But your
Even though you're
moveset
clearly
is
using it
one-handed.
one-handed.
But no.
No, that is actually a feature, not a bug. That
Well,
is
well, here's the other thing. I caught wear armor that's too heavy for you. It doesn't matter when you're mounted, right?
yeah.
So,
Also, I've used a wide variety of armor. Hey, guess what? Wear whatever the fuck you want. Like, I can't tell any difference.
well, I mean, I want a mid roll. You know, I don't want.
No, I'm just saying, like I can't. Aside from your mobility, I can't tell anything more than like a 1% difference in defensive value.
Okay.
Like it, just wear it. The game, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Let's start with NPCs. First, there are more NPCs in this game that I have encountered than like multiple Souls games put together so far. They're everywhere, and they are just as fucking inscrutable and confusing as ever. Though I will say, the story things they talk about are actually more clear. You can feel the George in that the backstory. So how do I put this? Back in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, etc., you can tell that they're creating pieces of a story, but there's no actual, these are the events that happen that they're drawing from. Here,
the obtuseness is gone.
There is actually a sequence of events that did occur that people are referring to. They're not just saying shit to just say it.
Right.
So when people are talking about the Golden Order or the war between this and that, you're like, oh, okay. And different people will tell you things that fit in together instead of just being a random mishmash. But their actual requests are just as obtuse. I was told by some lady to get her some grapes. And that's the quest.
Go find some grapes.
Go fucking find them.
Yeah. So when I walked into that wolf cave and I found the like fireflies, I was kind of like, okay, there's gonna be rare cave specific materials that you have to know where to go track down, and we're gonna do a little bit of Breath of the Wild here, you know.
100%. I have the ability to make all sorts of weapon buffs. I have the ability to make the items that you pop to get more souls or get more items. So lots of healing items.
With the NPCs, or at least with the Santa guy, I realized there was a dialogue option for recommended, and then an option to talk, and then the talk option went away.
Oh, and you ran out of stuff to say, I guess.
Yeah, and then it came back when he had something else to say.
Yeah.
So there's going to be... And then there's one option that was about yourself, I think. So now that list is not just talk over and over again to get the new thing. It'll be multiple subjects in addition to buy or sell.
If you have a list, right? So a lot of characters are just hanging out, and you just got to mash on them until they actually do something. What was I going to say? One of the best things for the NPCs is when you get to the hub, it gives you this nice little tutorial option, and the tutorial option says, this is a special area. You cannot fight here. And all of your bumpers and triggers are disabled.
Oh, okay.
You can't even swing your sword. You can't even change like what hand your shit is on.
Forced passivity. Huh.
Yeah. And I was seeing other people that apparently jumping is a hitbox. And people jumped on NPCs by accident, and those NPCs were literally protected by a golden force field. And they said, yeah, don't do that.
Wow, okay. Completely not even allowing for the hostile version of events.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, don't test that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure out an NPC quest line and killed them. And they were dead.
Yep.
And I had to use a mechanic to fix that, and it was a whole fucking rigmarole.
Is there sin or graves?
There is an absolution mechanic that you get a hold of. You know, I've been talking to people on and off of the past little while about Elden Ring, and Paige came up with this great analogy, and it's especially appropriate for you, Woolie, as somebody who has not actually watched a lot of this. Talking to people about their experience with Elden Ring feels like talking to somebody about a Star Trek episode you don't quite remember. Because they go, hey, do you remember that time Worf turned into a spider and spit acid in Beverly's face? And you go, no? Is that a real thing? And they go, yeah, it's this episode. That is what it is like talking to someone about Elden Ring.
Everyone's having their own experience.
Like, I could tell you that I went to a fancy church and discovered a dog wearing a Pope hat who told me a story about the sun and the moon. And I could be lying. I may, in fact, be lying to you. Or not.
Right.
I don't know. I can't tell if people are full of shit when they talk to me about this game.
I saw someone say, like, damn, I want to watch this, but I want to watch the LP where Woolie does the same things I did in my own LP, my own playthrough. Like, I wish I could watch the version of him going the same places and seeing the same things. And I was like, whoa, that's not the game they made, man. But that, like, I understand that desire. I understand that, you know, because that's the appeal of, like, I've already played through, I know what's in there, now let's see someone else do it, you know?
I spent about 20 to 25 hours going through the entirety of Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula, which is the southern little continent you can see. And I felt like I scraped it. Like, exterior collisions on every cliff. Talked to everything I could find. Just scraped the shit out of it. Only to be halfway through the next zone and have people come into my chat. Or no, have Paige be running her fucking stream upstairs. And then she looks at me and is like, oh, did you find the wolf, man?
Yeah.
And I go, no. What are you talking about? And then I start that up and find the wolf, man. And then chat points out that I missed 4 bosses on the
Yeah, I've resigned. Honestly, I've resigned to my fate that, like, the approach I usually take to a game like this is just not going to work here. There's a level of thoroughness that I take to the games and LPs where I try to really get as much as I can and find as much as I can, even at, you know, sometimes sacrifice of time. But that's because that's how I play on my own time too. In this case, I do realize that, like, scraping every cliffside is going to kind of be an insane endeavor, and I don't expect that to work. So I'm going to just wander and let that you know, guide my path. Like, I even in retracing my steps, that's when I felt it, was in retracing my same steps. I saw like 8 new things, and I was like,
to look this way
what
instead
the
of that way.
Fuck? Exactly, right? Like, on the way to the fucking wolf cave, like, I walked by a bog with the big circles in them, the big whatever those things are, and I was like, I didn't even look down last time to even catch that, you know? Or again, like, yeah, a giant wandering by just outside the Limgrave, like, first entrance, a bunch of moaning crucified dudes, like a bunch of shit that just, like, I turned the camera a little bit more to the left this time and saw a completely different thing. So it's like, yeah, there's no way the thorough scrape is going to happen, at least like not fucking on camera at the very least, you know?
So I've been doing the thorough scrape, and the only way I've been able to make any significant progress over the past week is that I'm doing thorough scrape alongside 8 to 12 hour streams every day. And even in that context, I'm missing a bunch of shit, but there's just so much genuine, like, how do I put this? It feels just as much of a big deal to Breath of the Wild as Breath of the Wild did to how frustrated most people were with open world adventure games.
Okay.
And so Breath of the Wild created a world in which there was something everywhere. Like, there was very little wasted space, right? What's over there? What's over there? What's over there? What's over there? The problem that Breath of the Wild had was that it was a fucking yahaha, or it was a fucking series of enemies in a little camp, then you knew what types of enemies they were,
or a temple,
or was a temple, which was kind of a known quantity, right? Or maybe it was a Lionel, or something. But you did it enough through enough of the game that you would start to see the pattern. And it wasn't like it was like recreated or copy pasted stuff. It's just like there was only so much stuff they could actually show and give you. There's only so many enemies in Breath of the Wild. And so when I think about Breath of the Wild, and I think about like, wow, I think about seeing the dragon come off the mountain.
I was literally about to say that the formula broke a couple times. Seeing the dragon was a big one.
The second one is
the Master Sword.
The Stag God.
The Stag God, yes.
And for me, the third one wasn't even the Master Sword. It's getting to the northwest part of the map and seeing a gigantic square dead in the middle of the ocean. You know, the maze?
Yes, yes, yes.
Right? And it's just like, that is different. Now, Elden Ring, those micro dungeons, you can see that they are made out of component pieces.
Okay.
Right? However,
Chalice dungeons.
Many of them have enemy types unique to themselves, and they all have their own bosses, and they all give you something.
Yeah.
Now, I have yet to get a single thing out of anything that I have gone, oh, that's fucking bullshit, I don't care about that. A lot of times it's something that I'm not personally going to use, right? But I look at it and go, oh, somebody would actually really appreciate getting this Faith Great Bow from this thing.
If you had a build for it. I was gonna say, Arcane serves what purpose mainly here?
From what I can tell, Arcane is your status scaler, your bleed, your poison, etc. You also need a certain percentage of Arcane for certain types of spells. So there's spells in this game that require just intelligence. There's spells that require just faith. There's spells that require faith and intelligence. There's spells that require intelligence and Arcane, and there's spells that require faith and Arcane. The dragon spells, for example, are faith and Arcane.
Okay. I guess I wish it was just a different word from the prior games.
It's also luck.
Yeah. Okay. Because sometimes it's like, it's not a problem when you make stats do different things. It's just when it's the same word, you know, then you're like, oh boy, all right, what are we relearning this time, you know? All right.
I will say, exploring around, probably the most impressive thing isn't just like there's shit everywhere. It's that every single time I've gone to some asinine looking crack in the wall or copse of trees, or I'm like, I bet there's something over here. There was totally something over there.
I saw a Zuli the Witch tweet that was like, I forget the wording, but it was something to the effect of, I'm X ridiculous number of hours in and have found my first illusory wall, and the psychological effect of this discovery is damaging. And it is like, yeah, No. No, don't tell me this game has those.
Guess what? I'm about to ruin your day.
Oh.
So, yesterday, I ran into Illusory Walls after 4 solid days of streaming. And the first place that I found it in had 5. Including 3 that were behind each other.
No, man. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Oh, just wait. That's not even the big part. I also found yesterday in the open world an illusory floor.
I just, what's the, why hurt us? Why hurt everyone?
There was a boss behind it.
Oh my god, man.
I went into one of those micro dungeons that
Fuck
had an illusory
you,
wall.
dude.
It had 2 bosses.
That is like, this isn't like, oh, I can't resist making poison swamps. This is everyone takes damage from, like, that's FOMO fucking,
I walked right past it until my chat started to scream at me that there was one, and then with my chat's directions, it took me 10 minutes to find the fucking thing.
Like, that is a fucking FOMO kick to the chest when you see that, man. I can't deal. Okay, so here's the deal now. It's like, either you fucking tell me there's an item that helps find them, some Stone of Agony shit, or we're just gonna cheat.
All right, so, hey, guess what? There is an item that helps you find illusory walls.
Okay.
It's called the Tarnished Wizened Finger, and it's what lets you write messages on the floor.
Oh.
You see, when there's an illusory wall, oftentimes people will put a message on the floor telling you that there's an illusory wall there. However, unfortunately, people think that it's really, really funny to put that message literally every single place. So I had stopped hitting walls at about the 20-hour mark because every single one of them was a lie. Until it was no longer a lie, and now I am back to hitting every single goddamn wall that has it.
Well, can we at least get, like, if we're gonna do this fucking thing and the messages are it, then fine. Can you do the thing where upvoting doesn't take away a downvote? It shows you the tally of both? Because one message that is worth...
Down voting is the same as upvoting.
Like, if I show me the tally of both up and down, that's more information than just the one number.
It's engagement. It's YouTube's engagement.
Fuck you!
Though I will say one thing, and this is actually a real tip. Really, genuinely think about placing helpful messages everywhere you can, because you get a full heal when somebody appraises it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It is genuinely very, very good to put down good messages.
Although I'm assuming that you're gonna find those Estus refill bugs out in the wild often enough.
You don't even need to. Oftentimes when you're out in the open world, you kill a pack of enemies and it'll give you like it doesn't refill all your flasks, but it gives you way more than just one. Like, okay. I've gotten 3 health and 1 magic flask off of killing some goobers.
You can still double sip, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, can you double sip one of each real quickly? If you like,
no.
Square down square? No? Okay.
No.
All right, well.
I can't, like, how do I put this? So I don't even know what game in size to compare it to, because it has this incredible little trick that it's playing on you. Where, Woolie, did you get the map for Lingrave?
I got the map.
Okay, so did you notice that the whole world map was just Limgrave? Like the physical UI stops your cursor when you hit the top of the Limgrave map after you get it.
Well, I zoomed out and I saw that
Yeah,
it
but
was
you
bigger.
zoom out, but the full square is just the part you've unlocked.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So how big is it? I don't know because I only have this piece, right? When you get a different piece of the map, it only expands big enough to include all the stuff that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a way to teleport to what I believe to be the ass end of the planet, at which point the map more than doubled in size, but now it was all gray. It feels like I would make like jokes about like, oh, it's like Skyrim or whatever. It is actually closer to Skyrim than like Breath of the Wild in size. It is absurdly offensively big, and I have yet to find an area in which I feel like it is recycled. Even the areas that are those little gargoyle dudes, right? And you get to the end, and the boss is one of those cat statues. The cat statues have different movesets depending on what weapons they have. Like, there's one that I fought with a staff that is way tougher than the ones with the swords. Right? And I have seen more unique enemy types in this game than 2 Dark Souls games put together.
So far.
And I feel terrified because I've spent about 40 with it and I haven't finished cleaning out the second zone. And I thought there would be 6. I don't know anymore.
Okay.
Like, you've seen how far the draw distance is, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, you look into the fucking horizon, like, yeah.
Yeah, the draw distance isn't even far enough to show you a whole zone. It's too big. Also, congrats on making something worse than mimics, and that's all I'll say.
Okay. What was it? The someone said something to the effect of like, this is Dark Souls 4, 5, and 6 at the same time.
Yeah, the first day that I was playing it, I said that this feels like you got Dark Souls trilogy for Christmas and you never played the Souls series.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So
it
how many
feels like a goddamn MMO.
How many bosses then would you say like you have gone through in that time frame?
30?
Jesus.
30, 35?
Jesus.
And that runs maybe 20. I don't know. I don't know.
God damn.
Like, I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know what people count as bosses in this game. Does it get a health bar?
A big life bar.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I fought one in the half hour before doing the fucking podcast. I fought a fucking guy that only shows up at night in one church next to a dog. And he beat me up.
Okay.
There's some of them are just wandering around. Some of them are hidden in the deepest, dankest part of a dungeon. Some of them are hidden in the deepest, dankest part of a dungeon behind an invisible wall, and that's the real boss instead of the boss you use the lever to open up the door for.
It feels like the goal here is to reach the point of exploration, for example, that Dark Souls 3 is at now, and still have people coming up with shit, you know, and still have people like figuring out optimal numbers on things, and just like to keep the mining process going for as long as possible. Like,
yeah, and let's take, for example, The easiest way you can describe scale in this game is through what the game calls a legacy dungeon. I don't know if it calls that in the game itself, but the marketing did, right? So there's at least one legacy dungeon that everyone has physically seen, and that's Stormvale Castle. It's right there. It's staring at you for the entirety of the early game. And Margit is your what would in MMO terms be called the door boss, in which you until you beat Margit, you cannot play in Stormvale. Stormvale is larger than the entirety of Boletaria in Demon Souls.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. And here's the best part about that. Paige was looking for a way around to get into like the moat or something, and she accidentally snuck into the next zone without going into Stormvale at all. It's not mandatory. You can just ignore it.
Well, that I mean, that's still, yeah. So that's always a thing of like, uh-oh, the noise played and a new name appeared. Back the fuck out. Finish your plate. You know? Or go do a test. If you're in exploring mood, go swing at something and see what happens when you do. And then back the fuck out.
It is so how do I put this? It's both the hardest and easiest game From Software has ever made. And that is going to entirely be on your exploration desire and your stubbornness. There are a lot of people who've been covering the game, a lot of people playing the game, who, when the Grace said go this way, they went that way, and they're fighting Margit within the first hour.
Oh, interesting. That's not me.
I fought Margit at hour 21.
Yeah, okay.
And I beat his ass so fucking bad that he didn't get a chance to fight me. I had learned to summon a super ghost named Oleg, who I got from a reward from doing a dungeon way outside my level range. I had an item that shackles Margit to the floor for 5 seconds.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That I can use infinitely. And I had weapons that were higher than I think I was supposed to be able to. I had +3 shit. I had spells. I beat him in 2, and the time that I beat him, I just, like, literally stomped him into the ground until he couldn't move.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it. Like, because I'm like, I found a fucking teleporter to an instant challenge with the Bloodhound Knight, and I'm like, I want to see if we can do this with no level ups, you know?
Hey, guess what? Those types of things don't have to be appropriate for the zone that you find them.
Oh, like it can be like a come back way later type of thing. Yeah.
I found one that was like harder than Margit.
Okay.
And it's right there. It's like 100 feet from him.
Oh boy. What? So I remember last time the description of like the pooling online system. You were describing how that worked. I don't know if you did any online.
I didn't. I did not do a single online.
Okay.
I'll be quite honest. The ghost system, where you can summon NPCs to help you, for me,
does the
has
trick.
Completely invalidated other people.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care.
Draw aggro.
I don't care. They give you so many of those ghosts, and they are all really cool. So, of specific note, I have a character called Oleg that is a giant knight with 2 swords that will last for entire boss fights against really tough enemies.
Oh
no
my
problem.
God. The entire fight.
The whole no problem.
Woo.
I have a set of 3 soldiers, 2 like peasant soldiers, and one of the it looks like the guys in red and green that you've been fighting, but he pulls out and does homing soul arrow every now and then. I found some skeletons that are that aren't very good to like fight enemies, but when they get killed, they retain the skeleton ability to get back up unless the enemies break their bones, which means they will last forever.
They res, okay.
I found dogs. I found a jellyfish that poisons bosses.
Do they draw aggro?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that does replace it.
Sometimes you're fighting a boss and you go, you know what I need? I need 5 NPCs to help me. So that the boss doesn't even look at me. And then I'm just going to lightning bolt that motherfucker for 10 minutes.
Wow, the whole fight. I thought they were super short summons for a couple seconds.
So there's 2 types of ghost summons. There's regular ones, and then I think they're called Ghosts of Renown. And they take way more MP, and they use a different upgrade material.
Okay.
And those are like NPC characters.
Upgrade?
Oh, yeah, you can upgrade them.
I did get a tutorial for that. Oh, yeah.
My Oleg is a +3 Oleg ghost.
Okay, yeah, okay. You make him stronger, yeah.
Huh. And they also get way stronger. Like, way stronger.
Does it cost full bar?
Oleg costs 100 FP.
Okay.
I found a different guy that I haven't upgraded who costs 104. Basically, the FP cost will scale with their power. And what that means is that spellcasters will have better ghosts.
Your fucking int will make it do more,
Your mind, your mana, your FP.
Oh shit!
So if you're a person who wants to use a lot of spells, you would have the bar to summon the strongest ghosts. Which is good because you need ghosts so you can sit back and throw spells.
And if you don't have enough FP, if it's like 104, for example,
nope,
you can't do it.
Just won't happen.
Gah, interesting choice. Okay, cool. That's
cool.
That's really cool. Because
so much.
Because I activated the statue of like the summoning pool, and then I'm like, can I interact with the statue again, and nothing happened. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. And then I just
you have to upgrade your boys. You need to do an NPC side quest.
No. I meant the online. Going back to the online statues.
Dude, I don't. So
like you activate the statue, and then I was like, yeah, I don't know.
You use a furl calling remedy. So it's a fucking yellow rock that you eat, and then that turns on online stuff. Okay, and you can make it. It's really cheap. Yeah, dude, like I'm in this situation where I'm summoning a stand to help me and throwing lightning and casting madness from my eyes and getting in there with jump attacks to drop people so I can, like, I just found out last night fucking around with my weapon scaling that if a weapon has an innate status on it, so if a weapon does bleed by default and you put like faith or magic scaling on it, it keeps the bleed.
It does both. It stacks both.
So off camera last night, I upgraded a scythe that is now doing holy damage that scales with my character's faith, but also does bleed.
What?
Which I should mention is really excellent in this game.
That sounds insanely broken.
It sure is.
Like,
who cares?
Like if you can do poison and bleed at the same time, or any sort of like.
I haven't found poison yet, but I'll try it.
Wow, you can go busted if you can do that. Okay, huh?
The game, more than ever before, it's been something since Demon's Souls, but that stupid Prepare to Die campaign really fucked it up. But more than ever before, this has been the game of a win is a win is a win. Do you wanna run some stupid shit, right? Do you want to grind up materials so that you can make 40 poison darts and stand in a doorway that the boss can't get to you and just go fucking poison?
Well, that's like the impression I'm getting here is like summon an army to run in, stand back, and just poison fog it, and then just sit there and take the dub.
Or use huge charged R2 attacks while your guy distracts them to knock their posture down and then get a big riposte. Or like it's just
yeah. Okay.
There's so much. I could tell all sorts of stuff. Somebody in chat was telling me they found a fucking sorcery that requires 70 intelligence. Who the fuck needs that?
Okay, question. Do bloodstains work at all for you?
Not right now. It's a little funky.
Okay, bloodstains literally just don't work. Okay, good. Just
it seems to be
feels like they're off as right now.
Hey, Woolie, how high do you think weapon upgrades go in this game? What's the number?
Okay, no. Hold on. So
what's the number?
So wait. I saw that something had scaling.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, oh, we're expanding our in both directions then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I fucking hear plus
what's
20.
The number?
No,
higher.
Plus 25.
Plus 25.
Yeah. I'm
fucking stick right now after 40 hours is plus 7.
I'm not even surprised. Like that we're expanding everything out in both directions. Jesus Christ, man.
I finished my stream and I was exhausted. I was dead tired. I was brain dead. Paige went up and she went to grind out some stuff in Elden Ring and she was chilling up there. And then I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll test out the new weapon that I like. And I played it for 2 hours. Then she came downstairs and she's like looking at me and she goes, this is the best game ever. I'm like, this might be the best game ever. She goes, this is the best game ever. We just said that back to each other 4 times.
Now hold on. The first upgrading thing I got in the intro part was like, you can take up to your weapons up to plus 3.
Yep.
So is the implication here then?
It's only that spot. You'll get a blacksmith at the hub.
Okay. And in terms of the materials, are we going through like 3 materials to get to 10 and then another 3 to get to 20 and then a final one to get to 25?
Do you know what the fucking upgrade mats are called this time around? They're called smithing stone in brackets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Cold blood do.
Yeah. So I think that blacksmith thing is because you don't have access to the actual blacksmith. So the plus 3 is so you can go beat Market.
Yeah. Sorry, I hit my elbow on the cabinet.
Oh,
motherfucker.
Darn.
All right.
That's good. Use that.
Son of a bitch.
Like,
okay.
I feel so bad for people whose PCs can't play it, like me. My PC with a 3080 and i7 8700 just chugs this game like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the game feels completely unoptimized. It appears to have DirectX 12 problems, Windows MIDI compatibility problems, all sorts of fucking stupid shit.
We're going to talk about a couple of those today as well.
Because this is one of those like fantasy games that I fucking made in my head when I was a child.
What if all these cool things, but you can go anywhere and you can go anywhere.
And it was as big as England.
And it can go anywhere forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you get to the credits? LOL. Lamau.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay. That's all incredibly encouraging. And I have a really good feeling that, because you know what, all that really matters to me is, am I gonna feel cool when I get the things I want, and then I feel nice and strong
Yeah.
and accomplished as I go forward,
I
you know?
I will say they finally did it with one of these games. They finally made it so that's like talking to your friends who are playing the game is now just legitimately completely mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
It is mandatory. And I will give you an example for why that is mandatory. There is a little dungeon off the way in Limgrave, somewhere out there, that has the only sorcery trainer you will find for literally 30 kilometers.
Oh boy.
And
Okay.
if you don't go in there and find them,
That's that.
you're just not going to be able to learn sorceries.
Unless
There
people drop shit, or you grab them in caves or whatever, right? But
sure, yeah, but I mean like the
proper
sorceries of like 5,
Mhm.
6, 7,
Mhm.
right? There I was looking for the ability to throw a lightning bolt my whole game. My whole game. Only to find out that the reason why I did not find it is that a gold knight that beat my ass on camera was the only place in the entire game that drops the standard lightning bolt miracle.
Jeez. Okay. Okay. All right.
He beat my ass, but he didn't seem that unique, so I left
Mhm.
him. And then I went back and was like, "Oh, here's the spell I've wanted the whole game."
Okay.
The item that you can give to an NPC to buy upgrade materials only exists in one cave in the whole game.
Fuck. I'll take this opportunity then to, um, I guess, let everybody know that unsurprisingly, we've made the decision to put out 2-hour episodes of this thing, because who knows how this is going to go. It's probably going to be nuts, and for some people that might be a bit much. For others, it's just right. But that's how we're going to be releasing it, is an hour and a half minimum, 2-hour chunks, to just to make it through, because yeah, like you have been doing, I guess, yeah, you've like like you said, like 8 hours per day every day, hammering at it. um I I'm afraid of
It it
of what's
it
to come.
took me about 18 hours to do all of the stuff in the area of the game that you have physically seen.
Hmm. So I just, but
Like it is.
it's, some games just are just built like this. They're just built fucking different, and this is an all encompassing thing, and there's no easy solutions here. Like, it's it is open, it is massive, it is meant to be something that you drown in. So committing that experience to camera in any way, shape, or form can't not be like fucking crazy.
Like I
And anyone rushing it, anyone like going from point to point to just hit cutscene to cutscene, is missing out. Like, that's a way
oh
worse experience.
I
So
I
I hope that's not what
genuinely
anyone wants to see.
unless I don't think that is literally possible right now. In the future, when people know how to speed run it and whatnot, but like if you went straight to Margit's gonna kick your fucking ass in at level 6, man, with your starting gear, and then Godric after that. Um. God. So I'll use an example. Because there's a difference. There's a huge difference between like bespoke content and what feels like copy pasted content, right? When I'll use Skyrim as an example, because everybody listening to this probably played Skyrim to a degree. In Breath of the Wild, you would explore around, you'd be wandering, and you'd see a little icon on your map in Skyrim, right? And the icon would be like mine or dungeon, right? And after a while, you just went, yeah, okay. And just kept walking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you're like, I don't really want to do a mine and fight a bunch of draugrs and rats or whatever, right? In Breath of the Wild, you'd be scoping around and you'd fall down a big pit and you'd check something out. It's like, oh, there's a shrine. Or, oh, there's a fairy circle. Yeah, haha. And you'd be like, yeah, okay, right? That it was clearly like they wanted a big world and they wanted to fill it up with stuff. And they filled it up with stuff that was good enough, but about half of the game felt like filler. Right? In some tiny out of the way shot little mini dungeon that I found behind some NPC that looked like looked like, you know, those little catacombs dungeons, is where I found, I'm going to use this specific one. I found that I couldn't figure out my way to the lever to the boss, and discovered what the game wanted me to do was stand on a axe blade trap so that it dragged me up to the ceiling so I could roll into a secret corridor, fight some necromancers, then blow through an invisible wall and fight a super secret second hidden boss inside that dungeon that was insanely tough compared to everything else in it. And when I beat him, I got a story item that relates to one of the game's endings, maybe? Like, it's everywhere. Everywhere I looked, I found something of value, of interest, of something.
It's just everything is discovery. Everything is discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone's gonna miss everything. That's just the way it's made. I'm gonna assume there are
3 or 4. I assume there are gonna be 3, 4, 5 endings, and I cannot even tell you how afraid I currently am of even attempting to get one.
Well, it's never a question of like, oh, what are the requirements to get it? It's a question of what are the lockouts that mean you cannot get that, you know? Like it's not go back and collect the umbilical cord. It's, oh, you already said no.
I just saw a phrase in which somebody described there's something in the game locked behind looking at a specific blood stain after a secret boss.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
And I'm like, great.
Yeah. All right. That's where we're going. We're headed for that territory.
Here's what they did. Here's the genius. They went, hey, what if we made this game like 200 hours long, but then if you want to get a different ending, you got to do it again.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, the real answer is just become the kind of player that doesn't care about these things and just goes forward and has their experience, right? Become the kind of player that will be okay not seeing it all, and then you'll just have to learn what you do and take it forward and find out when you talk to other people or go online what you missed, you know? But, like, accept in your heart that you're not going to ever scrape good enough. Accept it. You will never see it all.
I scraped it with all the powers of streaming it with a chat of thousands who were looking at it with their eyes as well. And obsessive compulsive disorder. And I missed 4 bosses and 2 dungeons.
Yeah, you know, whatchamacallit, fucking you're gonna like everyone. You're gonna get your primordial serpent says go fucking link the fire, and then big chest says go link the fire, and then you link the fire, and then the credits roll, and that's what we're doing. You know, you that's it. Just accept that that's what's gonna happen. Get your generic ass ending. And be okay with that. And we'll see what happens afterwards, you know?
So...
Because if you get... Like, if if I'm getting like, if I get halfway through and then like it starts to cut, like basically I don't want to hit like paralysis, you know,
Yeah.
of not even knowing how to go forward, or if I walk through this gate, are we now beyond the point of no return? Like
I can't imagine this game even having a point of no return.
Point of no return is nightmarish for this scale. Nightmarish. You know.
I think this game will also be incredible on replay, more so than a regular Dark Souls game, and here's why. Here's my last point of example. I saw somebody in the chat, they've been talking about NPC quest lines. Somebody said, I need a golden needle. And I went, cool, don't know what quest that's for, but I found a golden needle. Where? Fuck if I know. I found it yesterday. That's all I could fucking tell you. No idea. No idea.
True ending. Beat that first boss. Clean. That's how.
I don't remember where anything is. The only item I can remember specifically where it is the claymore, because I was using it for a bunch of my footage, and people kept asking me where it was. So I kept saying, it's over here on this spot.
Are those carriages a thing that like you see often enough?
Yes,
yeah.
I've seen a couple more. Yeah.
Okay.
They always have something good.
Yeah. All right. This thing is gonna be. This is a beast. It's 3 games in one. It's all of, you know. It's gonna be the all encompassing.